Hi everyone, how are you? This is your host, Pastor Tony Davis. I am hosting, oh my goodness, Everyday Miracles, a brand new show here on HSBN Network. I'm so happy that you joined us today. Guess what? We have some miracles for you today. We're going to have some great insight, and God bless you for tuning in. We're so glad that you're here today to just join with us. Guess what? I have one of the best, oh my goodness, person in the world, y'all. That's right, the best people in the world that has blessed my life. He has inspired my life. He is a pioneer that has opened so many doors for so many others. And we are so glad that he is my first guest on the show. My very first guest. And I'm so glad that he opened up his heart to allow me to come and share with you guys about his life story. You're going to be encouraged like never before. I mean, this is going to be absolutely marvelous. So get ready, okay? Guess who I have with me? He is the man, the legend, the myth, as they say, Academy Award winner Louis Gossett Jr. Thank you, Lou, for being here with me today, elder of the village.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be anywhere.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. I thank you, man of God, for allowing us to come, allowing to be a part of my brand new broadcast called Everyday Miracles. And I know you've seen a lot of miracles in your lifetime.
Oh, boy, have I seen miracles. But, miracles are just, they're created by God. So
Yes.
he kind of gives us examples of his presence by creating those miracles.
Yes, indeed. I read where you grew up in, I think it was called Sheepshead Bay.
Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn.
Wow.
Sheepshead Bay and Coney Island. The whole same area by the water, when the water was really pure and clean.
Oh. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And were you born in a Christian family?
Yes, we were born, I'm the first generation born in the North.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else was born in either South Carolina or Georgia.
Wow.
So the pattern of the Exodus during those particular times was that somebody would go from the South, either Mississippi or Alabama or Tennessee or Georgia or South Carolina, and go up to the North, starting maybe in Baltimore, Washington, and Philadelphia, and Boston, and New York, and get a job. And once they got a job, then somebody else would come and join them. And slowly but surely the entire family would arrive. And that's how the neighborhoods began. So that everybody kind of needed one another.
Oh.
The Christmases and the Thanksgiving, And we didn't have a great deal of money and a great deal of stuff, but in retrospect, when we sat around a table at Thanksgiving and prayed for gratitude, we had some very healthy foods. We had the tomatoes, and we had the chicken and the fish, and there's no chemicals in them, and we grew very large and very happy. So the only fight I remember having with my cousin was fighting over the drumstick at Thanksgiving. I'm glad. Sometimes I'd win, sometimes I wouldn't, but it was okay. We grew up sometimes together, like a bunch of people. And of course, I guess that started back in Africa.
Yes.
We knew how to handle one another.
Yes.
We were comfortable even in the middle passage by sleeping head to toe, head to toe, head to toe.
That's
we survived. We went back from
Yeah.
Africa all over here. So that's the end of the Exodus. Here we are.
Wow. That is so powerful. I mean, it's amazing how family, it takes a village.
It takes a village.
Yes, to come together. How did you first become an actor?
Well, it's I call them God shots, lightning in a bottle.
Okay.
I was raised in Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay and Coney Island, right after the Depression. I'm a post-Depression child. And the post-Depression children, we all I didn't come from a black neighborhood. I came from a poor neighborhood.
Okay.
Everybody had no money.
Okay.
So, we had makeshift toys. I had a broomstick handle with the broom off. That was the bat.
Oh.
And third base with the Chevrolet on the left.
Okay.
Home run was 3 sewers down the street, and we would take some chalk and put it on the wall, and that would be our baseball, and the girls had chalk and rope.
Wow.
And we were in 7th Avenue, and we were together. So we had our basics, whether we were black, or whether we were Jewish, or whether we were Irish, or we were Italian. I remember when I come home from school, if my parents were not home, I'd go next door and they'd give me some Jewish food, or I'd go down the street and get some corned beef and cabbage, or some lasagna. It depends on who was home.
Wow.
And so I was raised very homogeneous racial thing. We took very good care of one another. We had gardens, so we spread the gardens. My father was a fisherman. We spread the fish. So I came from that society, post-depression. And out of that society in Brooklyn, miraculously, there's that word again, we kind of relied very much on one another. And as a result, a renaissance happened in the East. That's where Jackie Robinson came in and started baseball, and that's where Ralph Bunche in the United Nations, and Walter White started the NAACP, and we all kind of took very good care of one another. So that society, it was in baseball and show business, and sports, and all kinds of stuff. For some miraculous reason, I was the president of the junior high school and high school. And at the age of 17, my English teacher, who was a former director and producer of Broadway, said, I don't know you never studied, but they're looking for a young man to play a lead on the Broadway show. I'd never seen a Broadway show.
Oh my goodness.
Tell your mother to take you down there on Sunday. What can you lose?
Yes.
So I went down on Sunday, and I got the part.
Wow.
It's in 1953, close to Labor Day. I opened up as a lead on Broadway at the age of 17 in a play called Take a Giant Step.
Take a giant step.
So you can throw dice and not get, that's kind of odd, you know.
Yes.
There I was. And so I started, at the end there's a poster, you can see that. And so I guess you call those lightning in a bottle. God had it planned in the first place.
That's good. That's great. Wow, wow, wow. Ooh, lightning in a bottle. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, blessings from God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We all are born with a gift.
Yes.
And the most important thing, I think, as a mentor, as an elder, to tell the young people, find out what that gift is as soon as possible. If you find out what that gift is at a younger age, then you can develop it for the rest of your life. There's not many people make a living on what they put on the planet to do.
So very true. You know, you've done a few faith-based films.
The new one is called The Reason.
The Reason. Was there anything that prompted you to open up for a faith-based film in Hollywood? Because, you know, Hollywood is totally different, so...
Hollywood is man-made.
Yes, okay.
So eventually it goes back to the basics of what my great-grandmama said. There she is.
Oh, yes.
And I talked to her in universities and churches, and I imitate her.
Beautiful.
She used to dip a thing called railroad mill snow.
Oh, wow.
And she put it in there. It smelled butterscotchy, vanilla butterscotch. And she said, come here for a minute. And she said, let me tell you something. She said, God was here before you got here.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to be here while you're here. And going to be here long after you're gone. So you better calm down and let him run things.
Wow.
So when I listened to her, everything was fine, and when I didn't, everything was not.
Wow.
Those little lessons.
Wow.
That's how far it started.
Wow.
And that's her.
Wow, that's her right there.
Yeah.
And how long did she live?
She approximately, we did some crude arithmetic, so we figure crude arithmetic when she passed away, she was maybe 117.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is 115 right here.
My goodness, man.
So what her job was is to take care of the children,
Yes.
supply the food, her and her daughters and my grandparents, my great aunts, while everybody else had a job, like the film The Help.
Yeah. Oh,
Maids, chauffeurs, porters, and butlers. And they
Yes.
did their jobs very well. If they took care of the car, it always looked from beginning to end like it came off the assembly line.
Wow.
Furniture, clothing, houses was taken care of to the nth degree by hand by my ancestors. So they took care of the elders. My great grandmother only lied to me one time. She said, "This is gonna hurt me more. It's gonna hurt you." Everybody seems to know that language.
That's right. That's right. I've heard that before.
But we were pretty intact of a family.
Yes.
And of course, Sunday was church.
Okay.
So we honored Christmas and Sundays. And Palm Sunday was a very special day. Otherwise, we didn't have anything else to believe in. So it's nice not to have anything to believe in but God.
Also, I wanted to just go further. Do you think it's important for our kids to be raised in a Christian home? Does it help in any way? What's your thoughts on that?
No, I think now, above any other time, I think now is the time to clear the air now.
Yes.
To clear the air of anything that you might believe in, especially kids who have been lessonless for the last couple of generations. They took matters into their own hands. It's a symbol of that is maybe a kid is in a high chair with food on the tray. And if mama's in the phone too long, food's going on the floor.
Wow.
So our children are kind of reacting that way with their guns and then their loud mouths.
Yes.
They're waiting for us to say stop. But we have to come up with a program
Yes.
to get them to be all listen. So I can tell that, I can swear to that in my personal life when I spoke to close to 25,000 in Atlanta, and I'm going back. Pretty tough guys. Cell phones went away.
Oh, wow. Cell phones.
So, yeah, they'll say, if you could get a child, a young person, to put a cell phone away and listen to you,
Yes.
there's some kind of lightning in a bottle.
That is so true.
And it's simpler than we make it, but we kind of left our responsibility by teaching our children properly.
Yes.
And those generations went away, and so
Yes.
they're lessonless.
Yes.
Not only are they lessonless, but they've been exploited.
Wow.
So now we've got to get them back.
Wow.
They're all ears because gangbanging is getting old.
Wow. Yes.
It's getting old. And so when they get older and they have children now, they make young fathers, young grandfathers. I mean, a grandfather at 25 years old, something's wrong. So they're all, most of them are all ears. Some of them are lost. But they're our children, not just our children, but all children are our children.
Wow. So true.
And back to the basics.
For the village
Yeah, it's a
to
village.
raise the kids. You know, I have a friend of mine that I know when he was telling me that when his family comes to the dinner table, cell phones, everything is not there. It's away.
Oh yeah, it's new. It's something very valuable.
Yes.
But there's a prophecy in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 film, when that was the first science fiction thing that would make so much sense.
Yes.
And they perfected Hal, I think the name of the machine was.
Oh.
And Hal started to get feelings. He got his feelings hurt, and he wouldn't let the man out the door. He said, "I'm sorry, you hurt my feelings." He said, "You remember that movie well?" He
Yes.
said, "Hal, open the door, let me out." "No, I'm afraid I can't do that." So now we have to maybe take Madison back in our own hands and let these machines be an accessory for us rather than let them run things. Because a machine, like a car or a phone or a refrigerator, eventually will go erratic. We created it, but it'll go erratic. And we will feel sorry for ourselves to let a machine dictate
So true.
our presence. That machine replaces God.
Wow. Wow. So true. Wow. You have met with and had conversation with President Barack Obama
Yeah.
and South African President Nelson Mandela.
Yes, sir.
Did each one of them leave a profound statement that you can remember?
Well, of course, Barack Obama wrote a book. I saw him before he was president. There's a photograph of him when he was
On your
campaigning
wall. Yes.
before he was president. And he was this young man who brought the House down in the Democratic Convention in Chicago. So he goes back a ways.
Yes.
Once again, lightning in a bottle for a young man like that.
Oh, yes.
So I was emceeing the Congressional Black Caucus at the time. So I met him and his wife in Washington, D.C. And there's some footage about that somewhere,
Yes.
where I was saying hello to Ron Dellums and all my
saw
good
that.
buddies, and
Yes.
John Lewis and
Yes.
Jesse Jackson, and getting hugged by Diane Watson and all those wonderful people.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I get this hug from this beautiful black woman. I come to my heart and start crying. She's so beautiful. Oh, that's Michelle Obama.
Oh, wow.
And she
Wow.
pulled me aside and said, "Here's my husband." And he gave me another hug.
Oh, good.
So now that's warmth.
Yes.
Now, I had that warmth before from the Kennedys, and that family is still relevant.
Yes.
So that he wrote a book called The Audacity of Hope.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
And it's amazing for him to write a title like that in a book called The Audacity of Hope, because you shouldn't have to be audacious to hope.
That's good. Very true.
Because I remember when I was a kid, my hope and my dreams. Well, my hope and my dreams. There were some elders that say, you have to be careful, you have to be twice as good and stuff, but don't stop going for your dream.
Wow. Wow.
So that's grandma, that's aunts and uncles. That's a special.
Yes.
The other message I got to spend about 20 minutes in a room with Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
And if you remember that history, the entire world stopped
Oh, yes.
when he was coming out of that prison, because if anybody had a reason to say kill everybody,
Yes.
then him. And it was people weren't breathing. The children were excited and they were sharpening their weapons. And so people were packing and going to the airport. And there was an exodus of people, because in fact those particular people in South Africa outnumbered, quote unquote, the enemy 25 to 50 to 1.
Wow.
All they had to do is say kill everybody, and they would be.
Wow.
That's a country with the atomic bomb, and Mandela went like this.
Wow.
So I said, how did you do that? Because if anybody had a reason to be very angry, it would have been you. And he said, well, I was in there long enough to know that there's a bigger picture.
Wow.
So what good would it do for us to kill everybody when that's not the prediction from God?
Yes.
So his job was to unite South Africa, which he did.
Yes, he did.
And he took the clerk, an arch enemy,
Yes.
into a room alone.
Yes.
His two best friends were the two jailers that had tortured him in the past. So his first house that he lived in was theirs, and they took very good care of him. So something happened in that prison
Yes.
that nobody really knows. You have to ask those two people before they passed, those two jailers, what happened
Yes.
when he came out. And the first house he lived in was the same house
Yes.
that the people who were in charge of him tortured him, starved him, electrocuted him. And they became his two lifelong friends. Nobody can do stuff like that, but you know who.
That's right. That's right.
So now you think about the absence of fear. I got a chance. I've been hugged by some very historical people. I was in Golden Boy with Sammy Davis Jr. And it was at the height of the march with Dr. King. And he brought his entourage, and he saw Golden Boy, and he shook hands. He didn't really know why, but he shook hands. Another man who made a decision
Yes.
that somebody other than him is in charge. So my lesson for me as an elder is to tell the young people, you're never going to be in charge, whether you have money, prestige, power. All you have to do is clear the elements of your system. This is just me now, but I'm banging it on.
Yes.
Clear your anger,
Yes.
no matter what happened.
Yes.
Your resentment, no matter what happens. Your guilt, no matter what happens. You make amends, and you give yourself as a vessel, a conduit of God's word, which is a bright light. So that light can shine successfully through you to anybody that you come in contact with. And it's been proven in books and in life that when that light is bright enough, you attract the attention of the enemy, quote unquote. So now, today, the enemy is very visible. So my lesson to the young people is to go back to grandma, back to the original thing, and clean up your act and make your neighborhood the most pleasant neighborhood in every city, without anger. Because nothing that could happen to us can ever compare to what happened in South Africa.
Wow.
Now, if they have gotten through that kind of stuff, then it's a piece of cake for us to get through it. And I think it's full circle consciousness that God has planned for us.
Yes.
Now, we're going to have to be relied upon to save the day for us all.
Yes. Wow. Oh my goodness. You have such wisdom and insight, and I'm so thankful for you, Elder of the Village, as I call you myself personally. Do you have any mentors? I mean, you've mentored everybody else. Is there anybody?
Well, I
in
think a lot of
particular?
friends that
Okay.
you're a mentor of mine. Any
Oh.
minister is.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're closer to God than I am. You can interpret the message for my benefit. I'm not a leader. I'm a student of the clergy of all kinds.
Yes.
The mystics, including the people who are Muslims. Same message.
Yes.
There are people who are taking advantage of the message for their own personal good, and that's a
Yes.
crime, and that's a sin. But
Yes.
every minister Reverend Blake, Bishop Blake.
Yes.
And there's a couple of people like that. Reverend Bill Minson, who was the first family of the ones in New York when the planes crashed into the building.
Oh, yes.
He's the minister for all those families.
Wow.
So I've attracted those particular people whom I ask advice from. I get these dreams now, so as clear as possible. And the first thing in the morning, there's prayer and meditation, and I get these thoughts, and I'm quite troubled about what's happening today. Of now, of all times, it's time for faith to be at its strongest.
Yes. And I want to talk to you about that too. You have a foundation called Eracism.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's right there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Eracism.
Well, as a result of the life, the way I was raised as a child, there was just no separation because you could go in 2 blocks and dinner time, and you could smell your way around the world. You smell stuff coming out of the room, and your fried chicken coming out of one place, and the filter fish at another, and the lasagna and stuff, and we were tight.
Yes.
It was an ideal neighborhood because we had no choice. My father would have a garden, and he was a fisherman. He brought some fish one winter, 200 pounds of codfish, and shared the codfish with the whole neighborhood. And somebody else would come in and find something. They'd go hunting or something, and they'd share. It was a village, a multi-ethnic village, and that's the way I was raised. And I was told that wasn't the case when I left there. Went to Hollywood and other places. But it's full circle. That's the way we all have to be today for our mutual salvation. So I learned from mentors. The original mentor was Reverend C.K. Chappell, the First Baptist Church of Coney Island, and his wife.
Wow.
Then there was Frederick O'Neill, the first black president of Actors Equity.
Yes.
Then there was Josephine Baker. There was Mr. and Mrs. Adam Clayton Powell, Hazel Scott, and Hazel Scott, and Adam Clayton Powell Jr.
Wow.
And of course there was Walter White, had this picture of his daughter on the Take It Down stuff. He started the NAACP. And there's people like that. There was all kinds of great people. Lena Horne, Josephine Baker, Paul Robeson.
Oh, yes.
I was the kid on the block, used to take care of it. Little anecdote. I was the kid on the block at 17, so everybody would come and bring me sandwiches and fried chicken from Harlem and stuff. Take care of this kids, right?
Right.
And they're all excited, and then this big cat with a big voice, big laugh. I shake his hand, his fingers go almost to my elbow. That was Paul Robeson. I didn't know who Paul Robeson was.
Oh my goodness.
So he's there, and so all of a sudden, my great-grandma, she came to a matinee.
Oh,
I said, that was my great-grandma. And they said, yes, ma'am. She come to me, she slapped me in the face.
wow.
I said, Grandma, why'd you slap me in the face? She said, I saw you sassing your grandma on that stage. And I thought you were better than that. I said, no, those are lines in the play. Slap again. I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
So you didn't know I'm in no theater. I said, well, I gotta see the line. She said, I'm coming back to make sure you don't say it again. And every time I said that line, damn it, Grandma, I'm not gonna do it, I stuttered.
Wow. That's amazing. Not like those grandmas.
Oh
man.
boy, that's worse than a 250-pound linebacker. You ain't going nowhere until you convince about gratitude.
Wow. Well, look, I just want to hear your insight. We're getting close to a close, and
Okay.
I know you spoke about Eracism, your foundation.
So as a result, to make a long story short, those childhood things when we kind of took better care of one another is the way we need to be today.
Yes.
And it's being challenged.
Yes, it is.
So in my travels, all these years, 60 plus years, of seeing other countries and other people going through the same challenges, those particular people who believe that there's something stronger than us that they have to believe in have been the survivors, not the ones with the most money or the most weapons,
Yes.
or the most authority or the most ego. But those humble people who believe in a higher power, a force that's running us and creating us. I call them God. Once there's a humility there,
Yes.
That, along with the lessons that have been stopped teaching our children. If we get back to that belief and teach our children the basics: self-respect, respect for the opposite sex, dress code, hygiene, respect for the elders, and knowledge of your culture,
Yes.
knowledge of other people's cultures, the sensitivity of one another, the spirituality, physical fitness, a thing called conflict resolution, which comes from Pepperdine, who's on the board of directors, Tom Stepanovich, and the Strauss Institute for Conflict Resolution, which is number one in the world. Once you restore those lessons, those children, some magic seems to happen. They seem to drop their cell phone and listen, because they've been wanting to know all along.
Yes. Yes.
And if you have God in charge, so you're a conduit of the information, not a special person, but a conduit, the way it happened back in the good old days, with the respect for the elder, you restore those lessons. I get a 75% percentage of children who appreciate the message. That's the foundation. To open up a place called the Shamba Center, SHAMBA, which is a Swahili word meaning farm, to replant those seeds in all children, so they can practice that particular thing amongst one another, so that when they get out of those schools and take over, they're not thinking about bombs, but they're thinking about clearing up the oceans,
Yes.
helping the poor, feeding the hungry, helping the poverty-stricken, clear up the air, taking the chemicals out of the food, eliminating disease, rather than conquering.
Wow. Wow.
Conflict resolution.
Yes. So, since President Barack Obama became a president of the United States, have you seen any type of change? Do you think that some people believe that because he was the first African American president, that it made a change in the country for the better? Well, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it was history. God did it, obviously. He was the first African American president. His mom was white.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, so he's his first multi-ethnic president. There were other multi-ethnic presidents, but they were all of the white race.
Yes.
He was half and half.
Yes.
A perfect symbol of what America originally was supposed to be in the first place.
So true.
And they come up with that philosophy, and he started to heal.
Yes.
So he's not supposed to have won another election, but he did won another election. So now it took Lucifer, or the devil, to try and destroy that, which they're trying to do. He planted some very important seeds globally.
Yes.
He did what Mandela did. He went behind closed doors with Putin and behind closed doors with other people to talk about stuff, and they come back looking at each other with respect. So seeds are planted, so it takes an enormous effort, as you can see, by the enemy to destroy what he planted.
Yes.
It'll never happen.
Wow. It's amazing. We can only keep walking in faith.
Absolutely.
Trust
Faith
in
in
God.
action, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Elder Lou, I call you Elder Lou. You're my elder, man, and so much wisdom. I want you to just say, talk from your heart. What's next for Academy Award winner Louis Gossett Jr.? Anything in particular that's close to your heart right now?
Well, things are getting very, very tough. And now I want the people to hold on.
Okay.
I want them to believe, essentially now, of all times.
Yes.
This is a major test of our faith. Major test. So, which is why I respect you elders, the ministers,
Yes.
to gather the flocks together
Oh, yes.
and talk about faith, because this is a test of faith.
Wow.
The only thing stronger than the atomic bomb is God.
Wow.
We were put on this planet in the first place to make sure everything is clean and clear, and it's not on our agenda.
Yes.
So now we have to plant those seeds, replant them in our young people. But we can't give away what we don't have, so it has to start with us, each individual. And that's when lightning in the bottle happens, in our faith.
Wow.
Because I have no doubt that we're going to succeed. But I have to plant that seed in our young so they know they don't have to go crazy. They can fight about rights on a daily basis and scream and yell with placards. If they win that fight, it's less than they deserve.
Wow. Wow.
What they deserve more is to reconnect to their roots
Yes.
and others, and together save mankind on this planet. And in order to do that, you have to go back to the basics. God was here before you got here. you know, so it's a challenge. It's a major, massive challenge of mankind.
Yes, yes.
Armageddon, if you want to call it that, but
Wow.
so we need to go back to the basics.
Right. Elder,
Thank you.
bless you, man. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming aboard with me to share this awesome message and to encourage people around the world. Again, you're looking at everyday miracles, and I'm just blessed. I'm filled right now because everything he said is so true, and I stand with him, and I believe everything he says. So we will see you until next time. God bless you. God keep you. Keep the faith.